please feel free to reach out to me. You are in very capable hands with Lymor. But if for some reason you feel like you shouldn't be in this class, you should be in a different class, or you have any other questions, just let me know and I will see what I can do. And I think that's it. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova. I don't see you, but we'll be talking throughout.
All right. All right, Mariella, why don't you give us your why are you in the class? What are you looking to get out of the class? Mariella?
Oh, this is me. I'm sorry.
It's your turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is Mariela Karp, and I live here in Tampa. I am originally from South America, and I love languages. Hebrew is very special to me, so I hope to learn something. But I have postponed it for many years.
Okay, that's okay. Jamie.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm not camera ready. I'm in the midst of a work chaos, but thank you for allowing me to join you. I grew up in a very secular Jewish home where everyone on my street was Jewish. It was just the norm. We went to Reform Hebrew school and learned very little. So, my husband and I chose to raise our children conservative. They are a senior in high school and a freshman in college, and have shown a lot of interest since we took them to Israel. And instead of just following along barely, I just want to, now that they're older, I have more time to invest in myself. And this is something, especially since going to Israel, I've really wanted to learn Hebrew. And my mom always said, how come you can read Hebrew, but you don't know what you're reading? I said, well, it's a process. So I'm here to start the process of reading and then hopefully understanding a little more as well.
Perfect. And where do you live, Jamie?
I live outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, so the class is this class, and if you looked at the text, it really is meant to teach you letter by letter, vowel by vowel, putting the sounds and words together. And we basically go through the Friday night service, right? So hopefully by the end of the semester, you'll recognize a lot of what we do in the Friday night service. And, depending on how fast or how slow we move or whatever, hopefully by the time Hanukkah comes around, we'll get to all of the brachot for the candles and that sort of thing. And then I really turn it over to you guys and I say, okay, what do you want to know? What do you want? And that's why you saw in my folder, the Kiddush blessings. We did the Aliyah Torah, like when you get called up to the Torah. They were like, we really want to be able to do that. So, it's really, once we get into everything and you've got all the letters and vowels, then I take your cue and we go from there as to what, you want to learn and practice. And then the next course is Saturday morning services and getting used to that. So just so you know. Okay, so let's start on page 1, which is the best place to start. And like I said, this book takes you through Friday night services. And so what you see on page 1 is what we sing right after services, before we come to the Shabbat table at night, right? So I don't know if it looks familiar to you, but it's Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, right? So it's the melody repeats, a lot of the words repeat. So it's a really nice way to learn this kind of in chronological order of this song, to be able to have something in your back pocket at the end, right? So that's why it goes this way. And we'll keep flipping back to this page once we've learned sections, so we can go back and read it and sing it and that sort of thing. So here's our first page. And the first page is chock full of something to read and do. The first letter is called a mem. And, we're not concentrating on how to write these or anything like that. So I don't want to do that. Hold on one second. So I was looking for, that's not it. Oh, well, I was looking for something interesting, but I'll find it later. So it's just like the letter M in English. When there's no vowel under it, it just says right? There's 3 vowels we're going to learn today. And if you look at the bottom of the page, it basically spells it out for you. The singular dot in the middle is E. The 2 dots say A. And the 3 dots say eh. Now, sometimes you'll hear when people are singing or in synagogue, those last 2, the A and the eh, they interchange them sometimes. But there is a grammatical Hebrew way that you're supposed to say it. So we'll get to some prayers and you'll say, yeah, but in my synagogue, this is how they sing it. And I'll say, remember what we said about the grammatical, right? So just because it's grammatically correct doesn't mean that's how we're saying it in synagogue. So, okay. Hebrew is a phonetic language. I'm going to share my screen so I can show you this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get my mouse up here. Here we go. Perfect. We go from top to bottom and then again from top to bottom, right? So this would be me. This would be may. This is meh. And then when you get here, it's me, right? Now, if we go down to one of the more complicated ones, and we'll go through these, we'll go through all these lines. So don't worry that I'm skipping around. We're going to come back. When you get here, first you go down. First you say me, may. So this phrase here is me, may. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. So let's just together do line 1. And when we're all together, you know, you hear lots of sounds through the computer, all that, just ignore that and just keep going. So let's do line 1 together. And again, it's the same one over and over and over again, just so we get it. All right. Me. Me. Me.
Me,
Me.
me,
Me.
me, 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 me,
Me. Me. Okay. Again, line 2, very easy. May.
may,
May.
may,
May.
may,
May.
may,
May. May. And the third line. Meh.
may,
Meh. Meh.
may,
Meh. Meh.
may,
Okay. Now, lines 4, 5, 6. Lines 4, 5, and 6 are all the same. So I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to call on you. And I'm going to have you say the first word in line 4, the first word in line 5, and the first word in line 6. Okay. So Marcy, let's start with you.
Me, may, meh.
Okay. Netta.
Me, may, meh.
Perfect. Karen. I have
Which
2
one?
Karens. Oh my God. Karen N.
Me, may, meh.
Okay. Anybody else want to do it, or is that enough to understand and get it? We're all good? Okay. Okay. Now, line 7, each word's a little bit different. All right. Judy Schwartz, do you want to try that one?
Okay. Me, may, meh. Me, meh, me, meh.
Okay. So it's, let me do it. I guess I should have done it first. I'm sorry. The first word is me, 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 me.
Wait, did
Tough,
you go?
right?
Well,
You wrote
went
you
right
read
to
all of
left.
line 7. All the
Line
way
7.
down.
I read the whole thing of line 7.
Oh, you went, oh, and I was going down.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I was confused that you were confused, but now I get it. Line 7, the whole thing is, it's different. Like all the other lines have the same thing 5 times. Line 7 is when it changes. All right. I'll let you redeem yourself, Judy, I promise.
That's okay. I just went from your 7 to your 10.
Right. Exactly.
Golly.
Okay. Mariella, do you want to try line 8?
Me, 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 me.
Okay, good. Anybody else want to do line 8 also?
Yeah, I'll try it because I didn't think it was what you said. So maybe-
Okay, Marcy, go ahead.
So, me, 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 me.
Perfect. All right, Karen F, line 8. I mean, line 9, excuse me.
Me.
Okay, it's May, line 9. May, meh, meh,
Meh,
meh, meh, may, me, meh, me, may, me,
right.
me, may. Yeah.
Meh, right.
Me, meh.
Okay.
Me.
Meh. Perfect. Okay, Jamie, do you want to do line 10?
Me.
Me, meh, me, meh.
Perfect. Okay. How do we feel about this page? Do we feel good about this page? Is this something that you can go
It's
ahead
good.
and read lines 7, 8, 9, and 10, review that.
What is the name of the, what did you say the name of the letter was?
Mem, M-E-M, mem. Okay, so we're going to move on to page 3. I'm telling you, we're only going to page 4 today, so don't worry. We're not, but there's 3 vowels and 2 letters, or 3 letters, I think, is plenty for one day. Because I want you guys to be able to take, some time to review it between this week and next. Now, when I say sometimes, some people will take 5 minutes twice a week. That's fine. Some people will need a half an hour, every day. That's fine too. Whatever you think you need to get there. But just make sure at some point between now and next week, you open the book again and read a few lines to refresh yourself and make sure you remember. And your own study habits, yourselves. So, I'm not going to dictate what it is. So this letter is called a lamed. If you wanted to write it down, it's L-A-M-E-D, lamed. And if you look at, again, I'm going to share my screen to show you a little something here. This is the screen I'm sharing. And I'm going to find my little whiteboard. I hope I still have a whiteboard. I had one last year. Maybe I don't have a whiteboard. Or maybe it's not on the share screen. Hold on.
It's whiteboards. It's to the right on the bottom.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Perfect. All right. There we go. Okay. So you could see this whiteboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the mat, when you look at, let me just, like the choir director used to write these lines, right? Hopefully
lines.
great enough, right? So the mem, when you write the mem, it goes like this in the line. The lamed is kind of over the line, right?
Me.
right? So, okay, good.
Um,
So when you see it with other, like here on line 6, you see the lamed comes way above the top of the mem, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. So, okay. So let's do, let's do this. Let's go for the first three. The first 3 lines are the same exact thing. Let's do those out loud together. Ready? Line 1. Lee,
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 Lee. Line 2 is lay,
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 lay, lay. And line 3, la,
La,
la, la,
La,
la,
La,
la,
la,
la, la,
La,
la.
La.
Okay.
Lily.
Who wants to, let me see here. Mariella, do you want to do line 4?
Lily. Lele. Lele. Lile. Lile. Lely.
Perfect. Hannah, do you want to do line 5?
sure. Lele, Layla, Laylee, Lala, Lali, Lale.
Perfect. Janet, are you ready for the double letter? Do you want to do line 6?
Sure. Mela, Lema, Mehli, Lema, Mila, Mehle.
Beautiful. Let's see. Judy Schwartz, I told you you'd have time to redeem yourself. Line 7.
Okay. Mele, mele, me, mele, me, le, melech, 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 melech.
Right. Oh, I didn't realize that was all the same thing. Okay. Sammy, your turn, line 8.
Me, mi mel, mi mele, mi me, mel.
Perfect. Linda, line
so,
9.
Lymor, the
Yeah.
second word on line 8 is me, mel.
Correct.
Okay.
Me, mel. Linda, you want to do line 9?
Sure. Mi Mela, 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 Mela.
Perfect. And who haven't I called on? Anybody that all right, Anne, line 10.
Mela, 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 Mela.
That was an easy one. So let's again flip back to the first page. Line 2. Mi melech malachim malachim. Right? So we're getting there. We're almost there with one of these words, right? So this book very much gets excited to get you to the words of Shalom Aleichem. Okay. Do we want to stop for the day, or do we want to learn the last letter of the word melech?
Let's
Learn the last.
Let's
We're
go.
going to
Yeah.
learn the last letter. Okay. So, you know how in English we have capital letters?
Yeah.
So in Hebrew, we don't have capital letters, but what we do have is we have final letters. So when there's a letter at the end of a word, it changes what it looks like. And it's not like capital C, lowercase c. It's a little bit more complicated. So if you flip pages 4 and 5 and look, those are the 2 letters that make the ch sound, like in melech. The one without the tail going down below the line is the one that is at the end of the word. The one that's round is the one that's in the middle of the word. So again, I'm going to pull up my whiteboard here. And so this chaf, so feet, which goes under the line of, you know, regular whatever, that is a sofit, an ending chaf. This chaf is on the line, or as much as I can be on the line. But they both say that they both are pronounced the same. Ch. Okay, and it's called a chaf. So if you're writing down the names of the letters, it's C-H-A-F, chaf. And then this one at the end of the word, we call it chaf sofit, S-O-F-F-I-T. But you don't have to remember that. You could say final chaf. That's another way of saying it too. I'm giving you both, and you can take that wherever you want to take that. So, so you would never read something like line 1 because it's just cha cha cha, and it's not really a word. It's just the final letter, right? You wouldn't put one letter as a final letter of a word. So for example, line 2, I'm going to read line 2, and then I'll keep calling on you guys to read the rest of them. Line 2 is mich, mech, nope, sorry, mich, mech, 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 mich, mech. Okay. Netta, you want to do line 3?
Sure. Lich, lech, 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 lech.
Perfect.
What is the letter called again?
Chaf, C-H-A-F.
Chaf. Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Judy Lavender.
Line 4.
Line 4, yes, sorry.
Lech, 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 lech.
Beautiful, beautiful. Marcy, line 5.
Le, me, che, lemech, lemich, lemech.
Beautiful. Janet, line 6.
Lech, 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 lech.
Oh, that was easy, huh?
Yeah.
Jamie, you want to do line 7?
Did you say me?
Jamie, yeah.
Okay. Melech, 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 melech.
Okay, so you don't put the chaf on the end. It's just mele.
Mele, 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 mele.
Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. All right, Sammy, you do line 8.
Me, le, chech, mele, melech, melech.
Melech. Perfect. Line 9 is just melech, 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 because now you have one of the words of, in your first day, you have one of the words of Shalom Aleichem, which is great. Hannah, you want to try line 10?
Mi melech, mi melech, mi melech.
There you go. So now if you go back up to the first page of the book, second line, first word, mi melech. You have learned a word.
Yay.
Now, if you're wondering, why, I'm going to share my screen here. Why did this come over? I don't know. Okay. If you're wondering why this chaf doesn't look like the other chaf with these 2 dots in it, these 2 dots are going to haunt you when we get to them. Right now, they mean nothing. The 2 dots are basically what I like to call a syllable stopper. When they happen in the middle of the word, you just stop and say nothing under it, and then go on to the next syllable. Grammatically, it has to be in this word melech here, and mi melech. I don't know why. I wish I did, but I don't. But you don't have to, there's no special sound, there's no special anything for that. So that mi melech is the same as the mi melech on page 4 that has nothing under it. Okay. So, questions? Anybody want me to read anything for them? Judy?
I have a question.
Yeah.
The kaf on page 4, you find in the middle of the word or the end of the word?
The chaf on page 4 you find at the end of the word. The
At the
one on
end.
page 5 is in the middle of the word,
Okay.
right?
It
So
gives you
go
a
to-
hint that says it at the bottom of the page. I highlighted that.
there you go. So let's go to page 5, line 5, right? You see chili, chili, chimi, chimich, chilech, lechech. Right? So there's 2 ch sounds in a lot of those words where you have the chaf and the final chaf. I don't want to confuse you with that right now. Like, I want you to concentrate this week when you're reviewing on mem, lamed, chaf sofit, e, a, eh. And then next week, we'll introduce this. It'll be the same. It'll be a little confusing. We'll get a little further next week because page 5 we're gonna breeze through that page. So, all right. Is there anything? So yeah, Marcy.
So I heard you pronounce that, I guess we're doing this next week, but key sometimes, and sometimes it's ch.
It's not. Only if there's a dot. So again, close your ears if you don't want to be confused. When there's a dot in the middle of it, it will be key. When there's no dot, it's chi.
I don't see a dot in the middle.
It's a hard,
Right.
like the
Right.
B and the V. It's hard and soft, sort of.
Exactly. So I can't even, I'm gonna go looking at when that's introduced. It's introduced later in the alphabet. Yeah. It's introduced on page 42, right? So if you want, again, if you're curious, if this is gonna confuse you, close your ears. If you're curious, flip to page 42 and you will see that the kaf, that's called a kaf with the dot in it, makes the k sound. Whereas without the dot, it makes that guttural ch sound.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember when I learned in Hebrew school, it was like it was, your throat was open without the dot and it was closed with the dot.
There you go. Yeah, there's a couple of little tricks we have. So yeah.
So all the things on page 5 are actually pronounced ch.
Everything on page 5 is ch.
Okay.
Right. Does anybody, so I will, if you want, do a recording where, let's say line 4, like line 4, where I will say lech, and then I'll pause in the recording so you can say it. And then I'll go to the next word, lech, and pause so you can say it. Does anybody want a recording for page 4 like that for lines 4, I guess I could do lines 2 through 10. Would that help you in reviewing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll record that. You probably won't get it before Sunday because I won't do it. I won't do it tonight.
I heard you.
But I'll email it out to you. I'm just writing it down so I don't forget. And that's exactly what I'll ask you at the end of every class. Which page or pages do you want me to tape for you? That sort of thing. So you have it. And then you can, and it'll go slow and you could say it right after me. And then you could turn off the recording and say it for yourself, a line or whatever. Okay. Anything else that's going to help you review this week before we meet next week? All right. If you think of anything, you have my cell number, you have my email. Feel free to use them.
Can
And
Thank
you
you.
just say what pages we're gonna need for next week?
let's see.
I'm sort of printing out along the way. I have up through 10.
We won't go past 10.
Okay.
We won't do more than 4 pages a week.
Thank
All
you.
right. And if we get
That's
to
a
that
good-
point, I'll let you know.
Okay, that's good information.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Just
All
if anybody wants to like print out their whole book and they don't want to use all their computer ink and stuff, I went to my local public library and I printed it double-sided and the whole thing cost me like $2.80 to print the entire 75 pages.
There you go.
So it's better than doing it on the ink on your computer.
Right. There you go. That's why I recommended like a Staples or a something. I don't know how much that costs.
Well, there
or-
were a lot more. Staples
Is it a
and
lot
also
more?
FedEx. They charge like 17 cents a page.
Oh
And they
my
won't
God.
do it double-sided, but the library will. And it was like 5 cents a page in the first dollar, and where I live was free. So it might be $3.80, but you can get your whole book
Ah,
printed for that and be done with it.
okay. There you go. All right.
I went to Staples today and it was $15, double-sided,
Okay.
and they printed it in like 5 minutes.
Okay. Good.
I have mine on my computer and I'm on my iPad for the class.
There you go.
So I can.
Well, I don't know
read
if
it
you
on the
noticed, I have
computer.
2 screens, so I'll be looking at the book on this screen, but then I'm flipping back and forth. So if my eyeballs are off the screen, it's because I'm looking at another screen. So, okay, good. Then everyone have a great week. Have a Shabbat Shalom, and I'll see
Shabbat
you
Shalom.
next week.
Shabbat